guys, so when I tell you that our allies are done with us, I mean it in a way that has never been the case since the end of World War II. Like, our allies are so fucking fed up. They're so full of our shit. They're so done. They're so over it that I don't think the government has any idea what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it turns out you have to, when you have relationships as a government, you need to, like, you know, work on those relationships and try to keep them happy and, like, do things that are mutually beneficial. But what Trump does is the opposite. He assumes, well, we're the best nation, we're the indispensable nation, we're the world power, we get to boss people around and tell people to fucking fuck off and shit. And, well, guess what? Then it come back to bite you in the ass cheeks, okay? So here is CNN's data guy, Harry Enton, and he's going to run through for us, in terms of the numbers, just how much everybody now fucking despises us. Watch this.
It's really simple, Mr. Berman. It's really simple. The people in those countries hate the U.S. military action in Iran. What are we talking about here? Okay, net approval rating, U.S. military action in Iran. In Canada, way underwater, minus 27 points. You think that's low? Thank you, Mr. Berman. You think that's low? Take a look here in Japan. Negative 73 points. My goodness.
Now, by the way, let me point out, one of the reasons why this is so low in Japan is not just because it's an illegal and offensive war waged against a country that didn't attack the U.S., but also because it was very predictable Iran would shut down the Strait of Hormuz immediately in the case of an attack. That's what happened, okay? They get over 90% of their oil through the Strait of Hormuz. So this obliterates their economy, like destroys it. And of course, if you're in the Japanese government, you're looking at the U.S. going, hey, assholes, fuck you. You waged this war of choice, which you absolutely did not need to do. We're not stupid. We know that. And in the process, you're, like, condemning your ally to a fucking depression? Like, you're putting us through immense pain because you're a bunch of fucking idiots and you want to create a greater Israel and you want to suck off Netanyahu? Fuck you. So that's what happens. Minus 73.
This is way down there. How about in the UK? We're talking about 34 points underwater. Key U.S. allies, the people in those countries, absolutely despise the U.S. military action in Iran. No wonder the leaders in those countries are, let's just say, a little apprehensive about helping out the U.S.
Okay, not only that, I'm telling you guys, behind the scenes, they are having conversations with China. I guarantee you. We already know Canada did that. Others are doing it. They're whispering into China's ear like, look, we know Trump is crazy. We know the U.S. is barbecue chicken. We know it's over for the U.S. empire. We want to be with you. We want to make deals with you. And eventually that's going to happen. The petrodollar is going to be cooked. You know, the dollar being the world reserve currency is going to be donezo. And then we're talking about fucking Great Depression, debt crisis, Great Depression. This country falls apart. Like, what we're looking at here is just beyond disturbing. I shudder at the thought of what this is going to look like when it all actually falls apart.
In 2003, and I'm picking that point because that was the beginning of the U.S. intervention war in Iraq. How did people in these countries feel at the beginning of that war compared to now?
Okay, so you see these numbers are quite low. They weren't always this low when it came to U.S. military action in the Middle East, because take a look at this situation. Okay, shift in net approval rating, U.S. military action in Iran now versus in Iraq in 2003. In Canada, way down. We're talking down, get this, 27 points. How about in Japan? Down way down there, down 45 points. How about in the UK? And of course, there was UK involvement in that particular war. Look at that, down 48 points. So what we're seeing is a massive shift when it comes to how the people, our allies, people in those countries, are viewing the U.S. military action in the Middle East. Far less popular this time around. No wonder the leaders in those countries want pretty much absolutely nothing to do with this.
Yeah, and it's going to destroy the global economy, as we were talking about before. But the difference here is that was also an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us. The difference is some semblance of competence and some semblance of wanting to bring along our allies. So the Bush people made an argument for fucking 2 years straight before the war in Iraq. They tried to say, hey, this guy's a problem. Here's why he's a problem. He's going to attack us. He worked with Osama bin Laden on 9/11. All that was bullshit, but it built a case. It built an argument. It manufactured consent, to use the terminology of Noam Chomsky. Okay? And then you go and you try to bring along your allies with you. That's why that illegal and offensive war was more popular than this one. And this one, nobody wanted it. And like I said, it's going to have economic consequences for fucking everybody. Now the Trump regime handed Russia a massive win because they're providing waivers for people, and Russian oil and gas is being sold, and it's being sold at a much higher fucking inflated price.
They know there are big electoral consequences if they do, and not good electoral consequences.
What's happening overall with views of America abroad?
Yeah, okay, so you see these numbers, you see these shifts down in terms of how our allies or folks in those countries view U.S. military action in the Middle East. You see how unpopular it is this time around, Canada, Japan, the UK, and this is just part of a larger picture, Mr. Berman, a larger picture. Favorable view of the U.S. in 2025 versus 2024, of course. Donald Trump being the president in 2025, Joe Biden being the president of the United States in 2024. Look at this. Favorable view of the U.S. down 79%.
Remember that video we did the other day? Trump is so horrible that even Nazis are now nostalgic for Joe Biden. It's everybody now. Did you see the numbers where it was like people, it's like Biden now has an 8-point advantage in terms of being viewed as a better president than Trump. Guys, he could barely speak by the end. He could barely speak. And people are going, well, I mean, it was just way better than this. I saw so many people say, you know, they called him Sleepy Joe because I could fucking sleep at night. Man, you know it's bad when that's the when that's where we're at. You know it's bad. Holy shit.
24 countries residents asked. The bottom line is this. The folks overseas are far less likely to view the U.S. favorably, and those chickens, they're coming home to roost in this situation, as there's very little support abroad for the U.S. military action in Iran.
And they have to worry about politics at home, these leaders do. Harry Ann, thank you.
Bruh, I really think the Trump regime is so stupid, they actually thought it's not even on the table, it's not even possible for this U.S. empire to end. Like, they act like it's, and this kind of thinking has just always been low IQ. The idea of like, well, there's just a natural hierarchy, and we're at the top of that natural hierarchy, and that's just how it is, right? Like, Trump said, the genes, got good genes. That's his way of saying, like, well, I'm great because I'm me, and it's because of my genes. And if you're bad, it's because you're you, and you have bad genes, which he thinks brown and black people have bad genes. He always calls them low IQ, right? This is just fucking stupid Nazi-type thinking. Well, that also applies to the empire. He feels like, well, obviously, it's like they used to say about the British Empire. The sun will never set on the British Empire. Well, guess what, bitch? That sun set. Okay? Same thing for the U.S. Oh, we're never going to go away. Well, it turns out when you spit in the eye of your allies, you rip up agreements that you personally made with them. You know, you don't abide by your treaties. You fucking stab them in the back repeatedly. You wage these illegal wars, which destroys the global economy, which in turn hurts them. Yes, they're going to say, go fuck yourself with a spiky metal bat at one point or another. Okay? And then finally, I got to show you this. So Lindsey Graham, literally the worst of the worst. This man is Satan. Okay? That's who he is. He's the only one who's been out there on all the news outlets with his little fucking micro penis erection saying every day, like, more, yes, do it to Cuba now, too. Do it more to Iran, yeah. He's out. That's what he's out there doing. Okay? The only person who's willing to have their face associated with this catastrophe and this illegal war known as the Iran War, the Jeffrey Epstein War. So he just went out there and said this. Just spoke to the president about our European allies' unwillingness to provide assets to keep the Strait of Hormuz functioning, which benefits Europe far more than America. I have never heard him so angry in my life. I share that anger given what's at stake. So do you see what he's saying? So we started illegal and offensive war that nobody else fucking wanted. We're destroying the global economy. And then you yell at Europe because Europe doesn't want to send ships to also get blown up in the Strait of Hormuz. Like, are you fucking stupid? You people are so stupid. It is... I can't. The arrogance of our allies to suggest that Iran with a nuclear weapon is of little concern. They weren't building a nuclear weapon, and that military action to stop the Ayatollah from acquiring a nuclear bomb is our problem, not theirs, is beyond offensive. They weren't fucking building one, and everybody knows that. Your bullshit doesn't pass the smell test, okay? They're not stupid. The European approach to containing the Ayatollah's nuclear ambitions have proven to be a miserable failure. No, your shit has proven to be a miserable failure. The repercussions of providing little assistance to keep the Strait of Hormuz functioning are going to be wide and deep for Europe and America. I consider myself very forward-leaning on supporting alliances. Oh, sure you do. However, at a time of real testing like this, it makes me second-guess the value of these alliances. I am certain I am not the only senator who feels this way. These imperialist neocon freaks are literally the death of us. They are the reason why our country is going to be totally done. They're the reason why we're going to be alienated from the world, isolated from the world, miserable. It's all because of people like this, who the entitlement that oozes from all this fucking dumb bullshit he says. Finally, Midas Touch quote tweeted this, and with the old fuck around, find out graphic. That's where we're at now. You're in the finding out portion of the fucking around. Nobody wanted this war. Only fucking Benjamin Netanyahu wanted it. He's the only one. He wants to destroy Iran, make it so Israel becomes a greater Israel and a regional superpower, eventually become a global superpower. He's literally like using the United States to those ends, and Trump is so fucking stupid, he went right the fuck along with it, okay? Trump has always been a warmonger, but this is above and beyond. Trump famously said about Obama, he's going to do war with Iran to increase his poll numbers. Well, guess what? Trump probably had a little bit of that in his mind, too, when he did it, thinking his poll numbers would go up, and they went straight down. Okay? Never mind the fact he's blackmailed by Israel and by the Epstein files. Let's be serious about that. So, look at where we are now, man. Look at where we are now. Utter catastrophe. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.